Estrogen dominance is something that we are constantly hearing more and more about. And hormonal health in general is a topic that actually a lot of people are very interested in. How can I get my hormones balanced? How can I get them going back in the right direction? Because it just seems like they're all over the place. And we can really feel a lot of symptoms because of that. And I want to kind of open your mind up to think of what does mineral balance have to do with estrogen dominance? Because you might not previously had put those two together, right? Estrogen dominance a lot of times is associated with taking different hormones, taking like supplemental hormones. It's has been associated with using different toxic products in your home, like cleaning or personal care. Those are just a few to mention. Maybe eating out of plastic. That's another one. And while these are very valid things that can cause estrogen dominance, what does mineral balance play? What part does it play in this whole estrogen dominance conversation? So I want to dig into that. And I want to preface this conversation by saying some of this might be like, whoa, you're using words I don't understand. And I'm going to try to make this as basic as possible, but you need to kind of understand what's going on in sort of below the surface when it comes to estrogen dominance. So if you think about high estrogen, there's something that is allowing that to be high. And there's something that could possibly be hindering your estrogen from coming back into balance. And so I want to introduce you maybe to a new word. It's called hepcidin. And this is a hormone that regulates iron balance. So we're going to talk about iron, which obviously is a mineral. And we're going to talk about how that could play a part in the estrogen dominance, the estrogen being out of balance. And so hepcidin is a hormone that regulates iron balance. And it's in charge of suppressing iron absorption. And so when too much iron is being stored, that hepcidin is going to go up. But what happens is when estradiol goes up, maybe we have those estrogen, the estrogen is out of balance. We're having estrogen dominance which means I can't talk, which means we have too much estrogen in relation to other hormones. This hepcidin goes down, which leads to an increased iron absorption from food. And I'm going to share a couple of YouTube videos that I've done in the past about iron. And so that you can get maybe a base knowledge, if this is sort of new to you, why iron absorption really does matter, because we have our body doesn't need any extra iron. And these two videos that I'm going to show with you to provide you with in the comments are going to help you to learn more about this topic. But whenever we have more iron absorbed from the food, when that hepcidin goes down because the estrogen has risen, this leads to more iron being stored in the tissues, which actually exacerbates our estrogen dominance. And so this makes our body appear as if it needs more iron. So if you think about this hormone, the hepcidin, that has gone down because estrogen has gone up, it just allows more iron to be stored in the tissues, which leads to more inflammation, which leads to the exacerbation of these estrogen dominant symptoms. When if you were to look at blood work, it might be screaming, oh, your body just needs more iron, but that's really not the case. So that's one way that mineral balance does have some relation to this estrogen dominance issue. Also, copper imbalances can exacerbate hormonal issues as well. And so copper and iron have this interesting relationship. Your body can actually hide copper, and that is connected to estrogen. When we have too much copper, our body's like, okay, we don't need all of this, and it kind of hides it away in our tissues. That is actually connected to estrogen, because if you think about a cycle, a woman's cycle, so copper doubles the week before your cycle, which raises sodium, which can make you to be more irritable, which makes you maybe retain water. You may be having more emotional issues going on. That can all really play a part in what we're feeling on the outside, but what's actually going on as far as in relationship to, I should say, mineral balance. And so when we have estrogen levels that rise, so does that copper level. And estrogen from these birth control pills can actually exacerbate this as well. That can make this even worse. And so this is something that we have to look at and see, like, where is your copper level? Where is your sodium level? What's iron doing in the body? And then we could understand more about why we're having this estrogen dominance issue that's not getting any better. And so that's what I really love to do, looking underneath the surface, running some different lab markers to see what is going on with these intricate parts of your iron recycling system, which I share more about in the video that's going to be linked in the description below. And what does that all have to do with the fact that our body's just in this constant, it's almost like a hamster wheel that we can't get off, right? We just can't seem to ever get going on the right direction when it comes to these estrogen dominance type symptoms, these PMS type symptoms. It really could be in relation to mineral balance. And by mineral balance, I'm more so talking about iron, copper, I'm talking about sodium, potassium, magnesium. All that really plays a part in all of this, because if all of those things are out of balance, your body's going to have a really hard time getting back into balance without balancing those first. And so this could definitely lead to other issues such as gut infections. That's something that they often go hand in hand, right? Whenever we have these imbalances in our minerals, it allows our body to have overgrowth of things that shouldn't be there in that amount. And so this all really makes sense when you think about a lot of different health issues, but I know we're talking just about estrogen dominance in this video. And if that's something that you really struggle with, you really need to take a look at these things to see how can you help your body get back on track. How can we give it a little bit of help, right? It's trying. I promise you, your body's trying to get back to balance. But it's really hard when your cells can't function correctly. And we have just this heaviness about our organs even. And that just kind of, it's just this effect, just like throwing a pebble in a body of water. It just kind of has a ripple effect. And so we need to get back to the actual root of the issue. And so I hope this sheds a little bit of light in how mineral balance can actually have a really big effect on estrogen dominance, or, PMS type symptoms that sometimes we as women we just think all women have this, and we just think it's very normal. It is common, but it is not normal. So if you feel like you could really benefit from digging deeper into this, I would absolutely love to do that with you. I'm going to put a link below so you can read more about how I work with primarily women. I do work with a few men, but estrogen dominance, mostly women, obviously. And you can read a little bit more about that via that link below. And if you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to contact me. All of that information is in the description below this video. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next video.